My best man at my wedding played a Bruce song at my wedding 10 years ago. So there's a sort of whiff of destiny in getting to be part of telling his story. He's someone who's always been very important to me. Well, it's incredibly cinematic. You know, Scott Cooper is one of our great film directors. It's a movie that has scope and a real sense of cinema. You know, I think all movies should be seen on the big screen. The power of the visual language, the power of the music. It'll be, I think it'll be a different movie to see in the theaters.
I just remember listening to his music during quite seminal times of my life. My dad and I used to go on road trips and play his music, and he'd be played at family dinners, and yeah. Oh, I met him for the first time at a screening of his documentary in New York, and it was also the same night that I was meeting Scott and Jeremy, so it was a pretty intense hour. But they're also amazing, and Bruce is such a consummate gentleman. Because everybody should see all cinema on the big screen. It's what it's made for. We're at the Chinese Theater. It is one of the most famous and historic theaters in Los Angeles, and we're having our premiere on the opening night of the film festival here in LA. And it's a great honor. It's a great honor.
We are at the famous Mann's Chinese Theater for the world premiere of Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Jeremy Allen White and the indefatigable Jeremy Strong. And it is a biopic story, but a more invasive, emotional one. Not like the Wikipedia page chronology biopics you've seen before. So hopefully people will come and be equal parts entertained and sort of emotionally educated as well. I didn't come to Bruce's music until my late 20s. My buddies were like, how do you not know Bruce Springsteen's music? And I was like, sorry, I grew up with Billy Joel, I'm sorry. So I listened to Born to Run all the way through, and then I just played it like 40 times in a row. I just fell in love with him from that album. And ever since then, I've been like a legitimate diehard Bruce Springsteen fan. I mean, see it on the big screen because it's a great scope of a film. It's this iconic person, their iconic career, and how like it had this giant emotional hiccup, and then like the guy became the king of rock and roll out of nowhere. It's an absolute powerhouse performance by Jeremy Allen White, and I really hope people go out of their way to see it in the theaters.
I think it's a dynamic movie, and I think it's an interesting story about an artist, you know, taken from a very specific time, and to see what somebody like Bruce was going through during this time. I think it's an important kind of journey. It celebrates creativity.
I think audiences should see this on the big screen because it's really an incredible film, and it will really help people to understand the struggle of artists and artistry, and you know, the dark periods of time that we go through as creatives, and it will just give people a much better understanding of that, and seeing it on a big screen is just going to make the experience that much more powerful.
Because I think it's a feat of cinema, and I think it's a feat of performance. You know, what Jeremy did is just incredible, and I think it's a really soulful film, and you know, the time that we're living in, it's important to see soulful things and be reminded of those important aspects of our humanity.
Whenever he saw me, he would take a picture off of his phone and say, "Pretty darn close." It's amazing, and you have to go see it, and it's Oscar worthy.
Tonight we're opening the American Film Institute Festival. It's one of my favorite festivals. It's a hometown festival. Really one of the festivals that made me fall in love with cinema. The first film that I ever saw in Los Angeles was in this very theater. It's great to be back. First Bruce Springsteen memory is my father playing the album Nebraska. This is the film in which we chronicle Bruce writing the album. So it's incredibly personal for me, and I'm so incredibly excited. Bruce Springsteen will be here celebrating this wonderful legend. Big images, big sound. It's an incredibly personal and intimate story in Bruce's life. It's probably his most painful chapter, but out of that pain came one of the best albums of the last 50 years. and come from an incredible performance by Jeremy Allen White and all of this cast. It won't disappoint.
Oh wow, that's a good question. My older brother loved Bruce, and I remember having the records. Like he would have the records, and I remember taking his records and into my room and getting in trouble because I stole his albums, because I used to do that quite a bit. And just hearing the music for the first time and kind of being transfixed by it. I do. I mean, listen, I think movies are incredible on the big screen. I think they're a collective experience. I think this movie's deeply emotional and moving. And I think there's something so great about seeing it with an audience and being part of that and feeling that and watching this journey. And I think at the end, one of the most magical things about the movie to me is, as a man, it's hard for me to cry.